important that you do not use the techniques shown in this video to attack networks that are not your own or you do not have explicit permission on. Now, even if you are trying to have fun and hack into or attack a your neighbor or family or friends network, make sure you actually get a written consent, not just a verbal consent. The written consent is very important because people change. You just want to make sure that you keep yourself safe. All right, so in this video we'll be attacking WPA, PSK. One of the few things we're going to do here is we're going to try and capture the four-way handshake. We're going to try and crack the hash. Once we crack the hash, we're also going to try and verify that our password is correct, or the password we got is correct, and then we're going to try and connect to our access point, and then we're going to verify our connection to the access point. All right, let's get right into the video. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Nimbus AI Academy. In our part 2 video in our wireless pen testing series, we'll be looking at hands-on approach on evaluating the security posture of WPA version 2 PSK. In the previous video, which is our part 1 in our wireless pen testing series, we spoke about web, we spoke about WPA version 1, WPA version 2, or WPA personal. We spoke about WPA version 2 personal, we spoke about WPA version 3, and we also spoke about the enterprise, which is the MGT for WPA version 1 and WPA version 2. We spoke about different chipsets like the Realtek, Ethereum, Qualcomm, and all that. We spoke about the frequency bandwidth, 2 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz, 2 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz frequency bandwidth that each chipset are commonly supported with. We spoke about the kind of wireless adapter you get. In this case, we're using the TP-Link wireless adapter. We install the driver to be able to make our wireless adapter go into monitoring mode and packet injection. Now, it's very important that you do not use the techniques shown in this video to attack networks that are not your own or you do not have explicit permission on. Now, even if you are trying to have fun and hack into or attack a your neighbor or family or friends network, make sure you actually get a written consent, not just a verbal consent. The written consent is very important because people change. You just want to make sure that you keep yourself safe. All right, so in this video we'll be attacking WPA, PSK. One of the few things we're going to do here is we're going to try and capture the four-way handshake. We're going to try and crack the hash. Once we crack the hash, we're also going to try and verify that our password is correct, or the password we got is correct, and then we're going to try and connect to our access point, and then we're going to verify our connection to the access point. All right, let's get right into the video. Okay, so we're going to plug in our wireless card to our network. Now we're going to make sure that we're connected to our access point. Our access point is downstairs, which will be the link 6. It's known as the ESS ID, or the name of the wireless network is Nimbus-AI. Okay, so we're connected to Nimbus-AI is the network we're connected to, and then let's start our video. Now, one of the few things that we need to do here is we need to check what kind of processes are currently running on the system on our wireless card, and we need to also place our wireless card in monitoring mode. And in doing that, we'll be able to view what kind of we'll be able to capture the kind of traffic or network that's currently around us. So one of the ways for us to do that is to first use the Airmon NG, which is part of the Krack NG suite. We'll do sudo airmon -ng, then we click enter, and then we can see that we've confirmed that okay, our wireless card is connected to our virtual machine. Now if you see over here, we can see that the interface card is known as WLAN. This is very, very important. So we're going to keep the interface name. The interface name is wireless LAN as LAN 0, then we'll keep this here. Now like I said, we need to check what kind of processes are rolling on our network, on our wireless adapter. And what we're going to do is we're going to do sudo m1ng, and we're going to specify the flag check. And what check will do is that it will show us, what kind of processes are currently running. We can see that the process ID or the process identifier right now is 883, and it's currently running the network manager, and also running WPA supplicant. WPA supplicant is generally used to connect to our wireless network. We'll get to WPA supplicants towards the end once we're able to crack our passphrase and we're able to get our key. Right now, move on. Okay, so now another major thing that we'll be able to do here is we need to kill our process over here. So we're just going to do sudo sudo m1ng check, and then we're going to kill, and then we're going to confirm that our process was actually annulled, but also executing it, but without the kill flag or kill command. So we can see that there's nothing here. Now, when it comes to wireless pen testing, always note that sometimes when you execute a command in wireless pen testing and you don't see an output, sometimes it generally means that your command was executed. But also another thing is that there are other ways to also confirm whether your code was executed or not. So now that we know that our the processes on our wireless adapter has been annulled, now what we need to do is put our wireless adapter in monitoring mode, which is our TP-Link. So we'll use also the Krack, the m1ng part of the Krack suite, and do sudo m1 -ng, and then we'll do start our LAN and provide the interface name. That will be LAN 0, so you can see monitor mode enabled. You can confirm this by doing iw-config and click enter, and then we can see right here our adapter is currently monitoring mode right here, right? So putting our wireless adapter in monitoring mode would allow our wireless adapter to be able to scan all the traffic that is currently around us. So now for us to be able to view what traffic is around us, we need to use a tool known as AirDumpNG to be able to capture the traffic that's currently around us. Now, when it comes to wireless pen testing, there's certain information that we need. One, the BSS ID of our access point or the target AP. We also need to know what channel it's on. We need to know the BSS ID and the ESS ID. We also need to figure out what kind of encryption and what kind of authentication it's using. Is the encryption, is it WPA? Is it WPA version 2? Is it WPA version 3? What kind of authentication is it using? Is it using PSK, right? Is it using MGT? Is it using 802.1 X-ray? What kind of authentication is it using? Based on the kind of authentication it's using will determine the kind of technique we're going to use. So we need to actually figure this out. Another thing also is to be able to attack our target AP. It's very, very important that you place our interface card on the particular channel it's on. Now, some of the few things I said in the last time was, okay, make sure you do not attack whatever network that is not your own. This is the reason why, we recommended that you get the hardware, which is the TP-Link and the router downstairs. It's going to cost you maybe, $75 to get it. Again, I'm repeating this, do not use this for malicious intent. Get explicit consent. If you're so desperate to, practice this concept, you can just simply, get the gear, save up some money, get the gear. So $5, you can practice, WPA version 2, PSK, WPA MGT. You can even practice web. Also on this particular hardware, I'm going to show you in the next videos to come. Now, let's get back into what we're doing. Now, like I said, we need certain information, the BSS ID, SS ID, and the channel, and also we also need to put our wireless adapter on the same channel our AP is on. So for us to be able to do that, we're going to use a tool known as AirDump, and we'll do sudo AirDump -ng, and then we will do start, and then we'll provide our wireless interface, right? So when we click enter, AirDump start wireless interface. Oh yeah. Oh, what am I missing? Okay, there you go. So over here we can see This is a little large. Just keep on going. Let's see if we can find our large. Okay, I'm just waiting for our network to pop up real quick. So we can see different networks currently, but we've not been able to view ours just yet. That's the monitoring mode, right? Because we need that information to be able to continue, with it. Like for example, you can see here the BSS ID, you can see the channel, the kind of encryption it's using, but we haven't been able to see our own, wireless, our AP, our specific address that we want to attack. Okay, just gonna come here, probably press it and disconnect and we're able to capture and let's give this a few minutes. Okay, there you go. So right here we can see our wireless what's it called now, our AP, our access point, right? Our target access point, our target AP. So this is the BSS ID, which is the basic set or the basic service set identifier, and ESS ID is the extended set service identifier. We can also see the kind of authentication it's using. It is using the pre-shared key PSK. We can also see we're attacking WPA version 2, which is the encryption it's currently using. But we can see the Sci-Fi is using CCMP, and we can see that it's currently on channel 9, right? So we're going to come here and copy this because this is the information we need, right? And this information, knowing the channel, would make us be able to put our wireless adapter, onto our network. Onto the same network or same channel, sorry, that our AP is currently on. We're going to come here and then we're just going to copy this, and we don't need this information right over here. So we're going to put the channel. We need this info, but we don't need this also. But we know we are dealing with WPA version 2 PSK, and then oops, sorry. Now down here, and then our ESS ID right over here. I don't think we know what we're dealing with right now, so we can just memorize that and put that in there. But these are the few information we need. So version channel 9, ESS ID and BSS ID, right? And then the interface we're currently using. Okay, so now with this information, we are able to perform certain attacks right now. So one of the ways we can perform the attack is first thing, we will use arrow dump, and we're going to save it into a file, right? When we save it into a file, the file is going to be saved into several file formats like the PCAP, the Kismet, the CSV, and so on and so forth. I think also the net XML. But the most important format that's more important to us is the PCAP file. That way we can, Krack engine is compatible with the PCAP. We can use Krack engine to crack our passphrase using whatever word list of our choosing, like maybe the JTR word list. We can also decide another important thing we also need to do is to capture the four-way handshake also. In that pickup file, when we are capturing the traffic and we try to capture the four-way handshake, in there is the hash passphrase, and we're going to decrypt the hash passphrase, using Krack engine. Now, one major way that we can actually capture the passphrase is to actually send a deauthentication packet to our target AP, or we can do it in a very fast way by disconnecting and connecting back into it. Now, most phones, at least the newest version, uses actually WPA version 2 personal in terms of connecting to a Wi-Fi network. So which means it's probably going to be using a passphrase, right? So anytime you're setting up your hotspot on your phone, or you're trying to set up your Wi-Fi on your phone, and you connect to it to your computer, most phones are probably using WPA version 2 personal on their devices. At least my device uses WPA version 2 personal and uses the authentication as a pre-shared key. So you can actually crack the Wi-Fi network from your device, or you can set up, this little home lab that we have here. So it's very important to understand those things. Now, what we're going to do is to save. Actually, let me do an ls. Okay, I have some saved files, so I'm going to delete these files real quick. WPA. I'm gonna actually just give it sudo and do ls. All right, so starting on a new template. So right now we're going to do sudo, right? Arrow dump ng, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to place. Actually, it's our stuff on channel 9. I don't think we've done that. So we're going to do sudo armon ng and place our interface card on channel 9. So we can see here that our target, which is on, our wireless adapter, which is now monitoring mode, is now currently on channel 9. To confirm this, we would do iw list channel, and then we can confirm it here that our current frequency is using 2 gigahertz, which is what it supports, and it's currently on channel 9, right? So that's that for that. So now that our wireless adapter is currently on channel 9 and our AP is also on channel 9, we have the BSS ID and the ESS ID, right? We can go ahead, and try to capture the traffic, the following handshake, decrypt it, and move on from there. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to do sudo arrow dump. And now, to be able to crack the passive, we need to be able to save the file in different file formats. Now, before we move on, let's just see what kind of file formats we're able to save our stuff in. We're going to do man arrow dump ng, and we're going to do the CSV. Now we can see the different file formats that we have. We have CSV, GPS, Kismet, NetXML, and NetXML. So these are the different formats, and the pickup also. So these are the different formats that we can see our what's it called? Arrow dump will save the traffic being captured in, right? So, but what's more important to us is the pickup file, right? So we're going to do sudo armon -ng -c, placing it on channel 9, right? And then from there, channel 9. From there, we're going to then write it to WPA2 -psk. So we're going to save it in this file, and then from there we're going to provide the ESS ID and the BSS ID, and what else are we going to provide? And our wireless interface, right? And then from there, our ESS ID is nimbus-ai, and our BSS ID is this over here. So this way, what we've just done is we've tried to capture the network on, now for legal reasons, obviously, we've tried to capture the traffic on our own home lab. So we filtered out every other network that exists, and then we're just focusing simply on our own personal home lab. Okay, so it's very, very important that you do this this way, because you can only capture traffic on your own home lab, not on any other network. It's very important to do that. So from here, we're just going to click enter. What's wrong? WP invalid. Supposed to write to it. Let's see if I did something wrong. Let's just do m1 -ng-help sudo. It doesn't run the man page. m1-ng. And we're just going to see how to write it. I think it's -w, right? Why can't I see anything here? Am I doing wrong? Okay, we're on channel 9, we're writing into WPA2. Okay, let's do B, S, E, and E, S, E, and power. M1 start, stop. You have entered an invalid. Oh, I'm sorry. I see what I did wrong. So it's not M1 it's arrow dump. Arrow dump is arrow dump is the tool used to capture the traffic. Okay, so my bad. So we're going to click enter and then we're going to capture the traffic. So right now we can see our traffic being captured and all we are seeing is the Nimbus AI. Now, few things that we can do. I just want to show you. Now you can press your space key and then you can pause the traffic currently being captured. You can press your space key again to resume the traffic. You can also view it in different formats, right? Different ways. You can view it by to display the access point, right, which is this, the AP. You display the station, which is this, and also display the acknowledgement, which is this, right over here. And then from there you can also view just the AP, you can view just the station, and you can view both the AP and the station, right? This is the route we have. Now when we capture our four-way handshake, we will see here that a WPA handshake has been captured over here. Now one way to do this is to send it, like I told you, send a deauthentication, a deauth packet. Now before we do this, we're going to do we're going to use a tool known as airplay-ng. That's just help. Now we can see that we can send the deauthentication packet by either specifying the deauth or the -0, right? And you can see here that it shows deauthentication for one or all stations, but right now we're only dealing with just our filtered out station, which is just one station, right? That's what we're dealing with. So we can send a deauthentication packet to our network, and we can see here that airplay-ng-0, or we can do deauth, specify one for whatever station we are trying to send the authentication packet. What the deauth packet will do is it will, via the terminal, try to disconnect, and by default your network will try to reconnect back again, and in the reconnection mode it will capture the passphrase, right, or it will capture the four-way handshake in that capturing the passphrase. Now sometimes this takes a minute. A fast way to actually do this is to just disconnect and connect back into our system, but we're going to try both methods. So this is the first method. We're going to click enter. Now once it sends it, we're going to check here to try and see if it captured the handshake. Nothing. We're going to do it again. And this method is generally used for WPA version 2 PSK. Do it again. Sometimes this takes a minute to work, but one quick way to do it is to come here, disconnect from our network, and connect back into it. And we should see our handshake has been captured right over here. All right. Now we've seen that our handshake has been captured, which means the saved file right over here, a WPA version 2 PSK file. In this file contains our captured passphrase, and now we can then use whatever word list we have to decrypt it. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to pause it and then cancel out of it. Right now we can see here when we do ls, we can see that it's been saved in different formats, right? You can see in pickup format, CSV, kismet.csv, netxml, and then log.csv. Now, but this is what is interesting to us. We can also use Wireshark, to examine our pickup file, and we can see it here. Now we would touch on Wireshark when we do WPA MGT, but in this video we wouldn't really go much into detail into Wireshark right now. We will just try to crack the passphrase and then move on into the video. We have quite a number of things to talk about next, right? So now What we're going to do is we're going to use a tool known as Krack, which is part of the Krack. So a tool known as Krack, and we're going to use it to, decrypt our encrypted passphrase over in our pickup file. So what we're going to do is we're going to do sudo, right? Krack-ng, just going to run through it. So we're going to provide the word list, which is the John the Ripper or the GTR word list over here. We're going to specify the ESS ID, specify the BSS ID, and also specify so we specify the path to the word list we're trying to use to crack our passphrase. Is almost like a brute force technique. Right now, you notice that we have to capture the traffic to brute force, our wireless network. The reason why we don't automatically, brute force our wireless network directly on our AP is to avoid something known as blacklisting, because if we get blacklisted, we won't be able to use our virtual machine anymore to attack our network. We'll probably have to spin up maybe an instance from AWS or download another virtual machine, or spin up an instance, of course, on Linode or whatever cloud provider we have. So this is one of the smartest way to capture the traffic into our pickup file directly on our computer, and then we can then crack the passphrase. So now that we have our path to the password policy, so the password that we have, the word list that we have over here, specify ESS ID and a BSS ID, and the packets we're trying to crack, the 4-way passphrase. Then we'll click enter and we'll let it do its thing. So in a couple of seconds, we found out that it's captured. Voila, we've been able to hack into or get our passphrase or the key to our wireless network right over here. So we can see it shows 1 Quebec, 2 Whiskey, 3 Echo, 4 Romeo, and it shows a 91.7% accuracy in its decryption. Now, one way to confirm that this is actually the way to go is to use this tool known as air decap. So we can do air, and I'll tell you why air decap is very important. So we will do air decap, specify the ESS ID, also specify, the key, the passphrase key, and then also specify the ESS ID, to filter out exactly what we're looking for, to narrow down, our search, and also provide, the pickup file that was used to decrypt the passphrase in the first place. So then we'll click enter. So now we can see here that 50 packets were decrypted before, our passphrase was found. So this gives a massive indication that this passphrase is probably correct, and we're going to confirm this by actually connecting to our access point using WPA supplicant. Now, this is very, very important, and this is amazing, right? So now this is a major indication that this is correct. Now, another thing is sometimes you could crack a passphrase and all you see is a 0. Now, because you see a 0 here does not necessarily mean that our passphrase is not probably correct, right? Now, another way to confirm this is we've shown one way using air decap to confirm. We can also further, confirm this by actually connecting to our wireless access point and interacting with our wireless access point, right? With our AP. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little bit of just very minute scripting over here, right? So we're going to connect to our what's it called? We're going to try and connect to our wireless card by using WPA supplicant. But what we need to do is create a file in our configuration file. Now, where does our configuration file exist? It exists in the /etc file, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to do nano, sudo, and the config file, sudo, right? We're going to do nano, and then we're going to do /etc/WPA supplicant, and we're going to create the WPA supplicant config file right over here. So right now we can see that it's empty. So we're going to put certain information on there to be able to connect to our wireless access point. Now, WPA supplicant is generally used to connect to it, and we're going to go over, some of the things that we use over here, right? So we're going to copy on my note here. We're going to copy a few things right here, and then we're going to paste it here, right? Now we can see that our variable CT control interface would run WPA supplicant via the var/run/WPA supplicant. We can also see our AP scan is given to be 9, which is on channel 9, right? And then we can also see here that our network, we provided the SSID, which is the Nimbus-AI, which is an ESSID, and then the PSK, which is a pre-shared key, or our passphrase is 1 Quebec 2 Whiskey 3 Echo 4 Romeo, right? And then we're going to save it. Right now, why are we doing this? We're doing this because we're trying to connect to our wireless to our AP. Now, we know for a fact that we're not connected to our AP. Now, what I'm doing here is just IP address show only Ethernet 0, right? So we can see here that our Ethernet 0 has not been assigned any IP address here. So which means we're not. We've just decrypted the path, but we're not connected to our interface. We're not connected to our AP, and it's not just enough to crack the key. We also need to connect to it, and also work our way around it, try to gather information, and actually maybe even do a privilege escalation on our wireless our network, get into it, gather certain information, and work ourselves around our wireless network. Right, that's the point of actually cracking our passphrase or our pass key, right? So we can see that it's not assigned anything. We're going to in a few seconds we're going to bring up our DHCP, which is our dynamic host configuration protocol. We'll go into that later. Now, but now we've created our wsupplicant.config file, and one of the next steps that we need to do is actually now we can see that it's not assigned any IP address. You can see we're not even connected to it. One way to make sure that we're not also connected to it is to do wconfig LAN 0, and we can see here that we cannot see any ESSID or ESSID, which is the Nimbus-AI, and we're going to actually correct this. So we can see it's bare. So by the time we want to connect to it, I'm just going to copy this code, and then I'm going to run through what it's doing over here. Don't want us to waste time. So what we're going to do is let me just clear our screen. Actually, I'm going to leave it here so you can see what I'm doing. So now what we're doing here is we are running our WPA supplicant because it needs pseudo privilege. We are also providing with the -BE. So let me come here and do WPA supplicant, and just do --help so that you see adding flags that we're doing --help. All right, so we are specifying the -B. It runs Daemon in the background. Right now, this is important because why we're providing this is that when it runs Daemon in the background, basically it would stay connected to our wireless access point, especially if we're going to be using it for a long period of time. And -I, you can see it over here, specifies our interface. Where is it? -I specifies our interface name, and then of course -C specifies the path of our config, which we created right over. Actually, I'm just gonna go there, self view it. Which will plug in, these variables and the credentials we just found, the SSID and the PSK, right? So now we're going to come over here, and then we're going to click enter. And you can see that successfully initiated WPSK, right? Now, sorry, WPA supplicant. Now, which means we are now, connected to our wireless access point, or our target access point. Now we can now communicate and manipulate ourselves around it. So one way for us to do this, right, is to actually how to confirm this is, you notice how this is bare and there's no IP address assigned to it, right? We need to actually assign a DH, we need to assign an IP address to it, to our wireless interface. Actually I am wrong. So this is not what I'm supposed to show you. Never mind. I'm supposed to show you the wireless interface, not the Eth0. I made an error. So we're going to do IPA show SW LAN 0, right? And we can see that there is no IP address assigned to it. And we're going to also do the IW config over here. and we can see that, okay, but we can see that we are connected to our ESSID. We're connected to our wireless network, being that we can see the ESSID over here. But the major issue here is our adapter is connected, but it's not assigned an IP address, so which means we can't necessarily communicate with our network if we wanted to, right? Now, one way to assign an IP address to our wireless interface is to do DHCP or DHC client, and then assign and specify our interface card. So it needs sudo permission or the sudo, and then click enter, right? And then we can see here that by the time we do IPA, that should show LAN 0, and we click enter, we can see right here, as compared to this, we can see that it's being assigned, an IP address with an IP range of 24, right? This is absolutely amazing. So now we can communicate via using our local host or our local host IP address to kind of communicate with our access point. One way to do this is we can just do like curl, and specify 192.168.9, or we can even do like we can scan what you call our network. We can do sudo iw list, specify our network and then scan it, and it should produce out an output over here. Over here, if we come to the beginning, we can see certain information over here. We can see the ESSID, our basis ID. We can see what kind of protocol standard is using the IEEE standard 802 Bravo Golf and November, which represents different gigahertz. It specifies what kind of range channel connect on and in which country and so on and so forth. We can see that the mode is in master. We can see frequency. It supports 2.4 or 2 gigahertz and it's on channel 9, and you can see the encryption key is on. And what else can we see? The authentication suite it uses is PSK, right? Great information. So we know that for sure that we can now interact with our AP properly. So we can use curl, right, and just try to see what kind of files exist over here. Right here we see that it gives us an output. It's sort of like a HTML output over here, and this is a major indication that our access point actually works. Right. So this concludes our video in attacking WPA version 2 PSK. We try to put our wireless adapter in monitoring mode. We attacked it, cracked the passwords, connected to using WPA supplicant, and now you saw me interact with the network, and try to gather information, put certain files. Of course, I needed to do my homework. I hope this has helped you to understand WPA PSK version 2. And I will see you in the next video, web and WPA MGT. Bye and happy hunting.